money, cars, women, travel, luxuries, muscles, freedom. These are just a few of the things that many people desire and set goals towards achieving them. Regardless of if those goals are healthy or not, that is not the point of this video. The point is that many people set goals and wish to complete them overnight, but that is not how success or life works. You see, it is the slow grind, day in, day out, that will get you closer to achieving your goals. Trying to rush the process and achieve them overnight will only put you further away from achieving them. Simply focus on being 1% better every day. Let's dive deep into it then. Our society is growing exponentially, and with that has come a mentality amongst many people to want to get things right now. With the rise of convenience such as apps like Uber Eats, Instacart, or even other conveniences like the internet and social media, people have gotten used to wanting something and then getting it fairly quickly. If you are hungry, you can simply order Uber Eats and sit your ass at home and the meal will be cooked and delivered to you shortly. This trains your brain into not only being lazy, but it is getting used to quick satisfaction of a need, which in this case is hunger. Where even 20 to 30 years ago, humans had to cook their own food that they either grew themselves or purchased from the local grocery stores or farms. So when people got hungry before, it required a bit of a grind compared to nowadays, where, let's be honest, the reason Uber Eats and DoorDash and all the food delivery apps are booming is because people are inherently lazier nowadays. The point of all this is to realize that the type of instant gratification mindset is trickling into other areas of your life. People will often get frustrated if they do not see the results that they wish to see instantaneously. The gym is a perfect example of this. Many people start a New Year's resolution to want to get into shape, but often quit within 1 month because not only do they lack discipline, but it's likely that their mind is conditioned to believe that it can happen instantly or overnight. That is not the case at all. In order to build a top 10% or even 20% physique, you must embrace the slow grind and understand it is about being 1% better each day. Understand that you need to stay disciplined and make small adjustments along your journey in order to achieve your goals. In today's society, things are much more accessible, and that is a net positive. However, I've also come to appreciate how things were hundreds of years ago when the only way humans could eat was by hunting and farming their own food. This is the way of the slow grind, and of course, we are much better off as humans now with our access to food and water, although one could argue with the quality of today's food, but that is a completely different topic. So back to the slow grind. You really planted a seed and watched it grow patiently. People understood back then that the things that are worth it in life actually take time to materialize. I learned the concept of 1% better every day from a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. Now, this is a pretty popular book, and you have most likely either read it or at least heard of it. And if you haven't, I highly recommend you do check it out and give it a read, because this book really opened my eyes to self-improvement and was actually the first book I've ever completed in my life. Pretty sad, I know, but anyway, I got the concept of being 1% better, and in this book, he provides a line chart with two scenarios. One person who started at 0 and just got focused on being 1% better every day, and the other was one person who started at 0 and got 1% worse every day. So the 1% better every day equaled to about a 37.78 return over the course of 1 year, and the 1% worse every day got equal to about a 0.03 return over the course of a year. I'm going to put up the diagram on the screen so you guys have a better understanding of what it looks like. Now, this diagram really helps you to visualize how getting 1% better every day can exponentially change your life for the better, as well as getting you way closer to achieving your goals. This was just 1 year to imagine 3, 5, or even 10 years of getting 1% better. You can literally be a master at whatever you are working on. Some of you may be thinking, I don't have all that time to progress at such a slow speed. I can understand where you're coming from because I suffered from that mentality before too. And I will tell you that when you want to gain something overnight, it is actually counterproductive and will take you further away from achieving it. Your mind is way too focused on the result and not the work required to get that result. And now, when I had that mentality, I would often make many mistakes because I was rushing it. I would also lack discipline because the work required to get it done overnight was way too overwhelming and not sustainable at all. In comparison to focusing on being 1% better every day, it's far more simple and less draining on your mind when all you have to do is achieve the 1% for the day. Now, when you get really savvy with it, you can probably aim for 2 or even 3% some days, but keep the bare minimum to 1% and you'll be golden. Listen, at the end of the day, I know everybody is getting influenced by their family, their peers, or even social media nowadays. And so the pressure to achieving your goals is at an all-time high right now. It is absolutely tough to shift your mindset from instant gratification to delayed gratification mentality, but it is also necessary if you are chasing excellence. Remember when Naruto was trying to learn the Rasengan? He failed numerous times before being able to complete it. If you watch back, you'll see Naruto struggling a lot at the beginning because he saw Jiraiya do it with no problems, and so he was influenced by that to thinking that he could just perform it effortlessly without working on the steps necessary to achieve his goal. It is only when he slowed things down and focused on first rotating the chakra, learning chakra control, and eventually learning to contain the chakra in the rubber balls to then finally performing the Rasengan. Now, this is a perfect example of how being 1% better every single day is the most effective way to achieve your goals. Slowly but surely, Naruto learned how to do the Rasengan, a jutsu that only he and 2 others could perform at this point in the show. So hopefully this makes sense to you guys. I've struggled a lot with trying to rush the process, but once I learned to focus on being 1% better every day, my progress has grown steadily over time, and that is what's most important. Are you improving sustainably over a long period of time? Make sure your goals are clear and concise. Don't let external factors influence you, and focus on being 1% better. Peace out.